Unpopular Opinions Twitter edition. Connor has asked you guys for some unpopular takes on all things Liverpool Football Club. I'm going to react to them and hopefully you enjoy it. If you do, drop a like on the video. And of course, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Hit it. The first one says, probably to sell Diogo Jota and Fabinho in the summer. Now, I would say that this probably isn't as unpopular an opinion as this poster may believe, but it's an opinion that I disagree with in some ways. So let's start off with Diogo Jota. I think he's an incredibly intelligent football player and I wouldn't be selling him. I know there's been links to him to Newcastle and other clubs. There's been talk of even 70 million. But he is right in the sweet spot that we need now for this next generation of forwards. And while I don't think he'll ever be a nailed on, guaranteed starter, he absolutely has a lot to give to the group. So I would in no way be looking to sell Jota. Fabinho, I agree with. Fabinho, belatedly, I would sell. He's 29 years of age, but he looks older. He looks older, but what I mean by he looks older, I mean is he looks slower and looks like he's not the same player that he once was. So if an offer came in that interested him and the club, wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. So let me know, do you agree or disagree? Next one. There's no way Jude Bellingham is signing with Liverpool this summer. Come on. You know who you're talking to here, right? Jude Bellingham could be telling me he's not signing for Liverpool this summer, and I'm going to be still believing Jude Bellingham signing for Liverpool this summer. You know why? That's because Jude Bellingham will be signing for Liverpool this summer. He will. Come back, watch this space, put a little mark on this video, come back to it, and we can all agree that I was right when the time comes. Right, next one. Trent is still the best right back in the Prem. Computer says no. Look, I'd love to be sitting here talking about the Trent we had 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I'd love to be sitting here talking about this marauding fullback that gets forward, that's supplying assists, crossfield passes, 60-yard diags. But ultimately, he's a right back. So we have to look at him as a right back. And I don't think he's anywhere near the best in the Premier League, to be honest with you. He has the capability of being one of the best offensive right backs in the Premier League. And I'm not somebody that thinks he just simply cannot defend. I just don't like his attitude lately and his body language. It's more like he's unwilling to put in the hard yards rather than he's unable to put in the hard yards. So for me, I would disagree that he's the best right back in the Premier League still. Next one up said that even though I want FSG out, I would be okay with them if they changed from sell to buy and started investing in the team. Now you see, this is, I don't think at all, an unpopular opinion. Certainly, I think you've summed up my thoughts there. I don't have anything against FSG other than the fact that they won't invest in the team. So I've spoken before, look, the Super League stuff was my line in the sand. When they signed us up to that, I lost all trust. But if you take the few faux pas out and you look at how they just run the club, I think what this person has said is probably spot on. A lot of us would be a lot calmer if we did see that the manager was getting the funds to do the rebuild. We just wonder if he will or if he'll have to sell to buy. So look, in no way are FSG the worst owners in the Premier League or anything like it. They have lied, they have done things we don't like, but they aren't the worst. So if they were to give Jurgen Klopp the rebuild this summer, really back him, I think it'll buy a bit of patience with a lot of us. That's being realistic about it. I think if we are, if we're to talk about the owners, we have to be balanced in what we say. Next one, Liverpool will get top 4 this season. I mean, I love the optimism. I think the first week back after this international break will tell us a lot about this Liverpool team and will tell us a lot about our ambitions or our probability of getting into the top 4. Right now, I mean, this sounds weird to say because of how I'm going to follow it up, but Spurs probably in the box seat, right? Even though Antonio Conte's losing his head and Spurs look like they're doing their best not to get that Champions League spot. Newcastle's a difficult one to gauge. They are capable of being a difficult team to break down. But if we could get something from, let's say we took 6 points from the next 9 available, and it is difficult. You're talking about Manchester City away, you're talking about Chelsea away, and then Arsenal at home. I think if we could somehow pull 6 points out of that, I don't think I disagree with you. I think we will get top 4, but I can't give a straight answer before those 3 games because that's going to be a season-defining week. Pep Lijnders should be the next Liverpool manager after Klopp. There would have been a time where I agreed 100% with this, and I'm not somebody who's jumping on the lazy bandwagon of blaming Pep Lijnders for everything. My biggest concern would be, does he have the gravitas to manage a club like Liverpool? I don't think so. I don't think he has the stature to attract players. Now you might say to me, it's not about that, Craig. It's about coaching. It's about getting the best out of the players. And yes, to an extent. But remember Brendan Rodgers? He was okay at the coaching part, but he wasn't so good at attracting players to the club. And of course, I understand we're a lot further along in our development than we were under Rodgers. More Champions League appearances consecutively, lots of other things. But for me, I could understand that being the plan. But I just don't think Pep Lijnders has the gravitas to manage a club the size of Liverpool, not without having more first-team managerial experience himself. So I would respectfully say that I disagree with that. But there would have been a time where I probably would have been on your side. We should never have given Salah that contract. You see, it's very easy for us all to be geniuses in hindsight, right? And to look at Salah's situation and go, well, if you look at Aubameyang, if you look at other players over the course of their time, if you look at Ozil at Arsenal, when they get these big contracts, they tail off and the performances aren't the same. But with Mohamed Salah, I think there was a genuine case, and still is a genuine case, to think that this man is an outlier. This man is everything that we think he is. But he isn't performing at the minute. And of that I have a lot of upset and anger with, but I don't think it's because he's downing tools or he's trying any less. I just think it's a culmination of a lot of things going wrong at the club. Injuries, tactical tweaks from the manager, no competition for Mohamed Salah on the right hand side really. So I don't think it was a mistake. I think if we were ever to break the wage structure for one player at our football club, it's got to be the man that's been smashing records. So as much as I'm not happy with Mo right now, I don't want to go back and start saying we shouldn't have given him the contract. I think he deserved the contract. Van Dijk should be dropped in the summer and replaced by somebody like Vardiol. You see, this sounds like it's ludicrous, right? Saying drop Virgil van Dijk to most of us will sound ludicrous, but there's something in what you're saying. We are not seeing anywhere near the same Virgil van Dijk that we have in previous seasons. Now you can say he's come back from injury, but how long do we give him to come back from that? How long do we give him to work his way back? There's been a lot more throwing his hands in the air and getting upset these days than actually getting stuck into doing the hard yards defending. And I can't lie, I think Van Dijk has fallen off. I still think I wouldn't be dropping him, but I do agree that he has quite a way to go to get back to the level we know he's capable of. And if he wants to lead that team, if he wants to be the captain, if Jordan Henderson isn't on the pitch or if James Milner moves on, then he's going to have to start showing actual leadership with his actions and not just throwing his hands in the air and pointing at people. Man United will win the Premier League before Liverpool does again. It's impossible for me to answer this because I don't know what way our summer's going to go. I don't think United are as far along as some people believe in their development. Look, Erik ten Hag has done a great job at United. I can't argue against that. But I still think they're quite a ways away. Today, as I record this, they've just beaten Fulham and knocked them out of the FA Cup. Probably would have lost if Fulham hadn't have had Willian sent off for a handball that was a penalty, no argument there. Mitrovic losing his head. So I think there are signs of improvement in United, but I still think when we get back to our best, there is a gap between Liverpool and Manchester United. Not this season, league table doesn't lie, but I do think we will be there before United. So I disagree with you on that one. And the last one from the Twitter edition, we need to keep Milner for one more year. Again, it's understandable, and I don't think it's an unpopular opinion, but I disagree. James Milner is an absolute leader, an icon, somebody to look up to if you're a younger player. But he's taken up a squad place, and we haven't got room for sentiment. And James Milner's role should be taken by Jordan Henderson next season for me, and Henderson's minutes managed and reduced. So can I understand that the gaffer would want to keep Jimmy Milner around? 100%. I'd say he's a dream to have around the dressing room, and I'd say he's a manager's dream to work with. But this is the summer where we need to be ruthless. This is the summer where we don't have room for sentiment. And unfortunately for me, that would mean saying thank you, but goodbye to James Milner after some wonderful years at the club. Right, that is the end of this Unpopular Opinions Twitter edition. Do keep an eye out for the Instagram one, which should be dropping on your feed soon. Thank you to everybody for watching. Don't forget, drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.